We've known for a while now that Tesla is bringing out a cheaper version of the Tesla Model Y this year. It will slot underneath the existing standard range Tesla Model Y, which you guys don't actually get in the United States because in America, you guys don't use lithium iron phosphate batteries from BYD or CATL because they're Chinese companies anymore. Now, the cheapest version of the Model 3 and the Model Y comes with basically a Panasonic battery pack. And that means it's now more expensive, a little bit more expensive than what it used to be in the United States. But as in the rest of the world, there will be a cheaper Model Y this year. What will be the differences? Well, we can kind of infer some of the differences based on some reports from the Chinese media. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Chinese media have reported, and these are pretty good reports here coming out of one of the most respected media organizations in China. They have said that Tesla has been planning a lower price Model Y. They say it's a defensive move in case the Model Y doesn't sell that well. Now, I should point out Tesla apparently has 200,000 pre-orders for the Model Y, but remarkably, you can still get one if you order. Tesla's website says if you order a Model Y today, there's not a very long wait. It's only about a 1 month wait. So I'm not sure why that is. Anyhow, what we do know is this. The new version, the cheaper version of the Model Y will not have any changes to the battery, to its power. The power won't be reduced, or to its chassis. It'll be the same as the existing Model Y, except for some other changes. Those other changes include things like, from what I'm hearing from reports, no electric boot. So the boot will close manually. Things like, less standard features. The seats may not have ventilation in the front. That is very likely. Instead of having ventilation and heating, they'll just have heating. In the back, instead of having heating in the back, they won't have the heating in the back. There's going to be a few small changes like that will make Tesla enable them to make a cheaper version of the Model Y. They may also use non-laminated acoustic glass in some of the windows in the car. Well, now the front and rear windows use all laminated acoustic glass. That, of course, increases the cost for Tesla to make the car. Those could go. But one almost certain change is the rear media screen. So not that media screen in the front of the car, the big 15-inch screen, that stays. In the back of the car, there is I think it's a 6-inch screen that's built into the rear of the storage space that sits in between the front seats. So that rear screen for rear passengers, that will go. Personally, I wouldn't want to pay extra for that anyway. I don't think it's all that valuable. I think kids these days use iPads. I don't really see the purpose in having that screen there. So if that can reduce the price of a Model Y, honestly, if I was going to buy a Model Y and I can tick the box to say no media screen, you're going to save some money for having no media screen in the back, I'd be ticking it. I don't think it's all that useful. Those are some of the changes that are expected to come that we made to the Model Y to make it cheaper. It might only be a few $1,000s cheaper, but those changes would enable Tesla to sell a cheaper version of the Model Y. That might mean that in the United States, we know there's one coming in the United States, you might be looking at a price close to around $42,000 for the cheapest version of the Model Y. Here in Australia, the cheapest version of the Model Y could go down. At this point, the older version of the Model Y, it was $56,000 here in Australia. That was just the standard price. I could see that coming down a little bit more to maybe 54,000, 53,000 Australian dollars. This won't happen anytime soon, though. I think we're still looking at between probably 6 to 8 months for this reduced features, cheaper version of the Model Y. I think it's a good idea. I don't think that everyone wants some of these features. I think, honestly, you don't need some of these features. You want to get a cheaper car, then you've got a choice to do that. So I think it's also great that the battery is going to stay the same. It's going to be the same battery pack, lithium iron phosphate battery. If you're in Germany, it's a Blade battery from BYD. If you're getting the German-made model, if you're getting the Chinese-made model, it's the CATL lithium iron phosphate battery from, of course, the biggest battery company in the world. But either way, it looks like those battery packs will stay the same. The motors will stay the same. The chassis will stay the same. But there'll be some reduced features coming to the car, and that will help Tesla to reduce the price. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Is this compelling to you? Let me know in the comments. Many countries are Well, they're preventing the phase out of fossil fuels for one reason: massive, massive losses. When I say losses, I don't mean losses in terms of investments or losses to that country in particular, but losses in terms of being sued by fossil fuel companies. Fossil fuel companies have a history of suing governments for many billions of dollars once they try to shut down parts of loss making businesses in the fossil fuel sector. This is far worse than what we previously realized, and here are the details. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. If you'd like to become a member of the channel, that'd be great. I'll put a link in the description below. That does help me to get more videos out about this kind of information, showing you what governments are facing in terms of the fossil fuel empire. The empire is, in my opinion, it's very similar to the empire from Star Wars. You know, basically the evil empire that really has its roots in all countries across the planet. The Guardian says that fear of billion-dollar lawsuits is stopping countries from phasing out fossil fuels. And it's not, it's not some ethereal threat. This is very real. And it's based in precedent. Companies can sue governments for closing oil fields and mines, and the risk of huge damages is stopping countries from passing green laws. In the mountains of Transylvania, a Canadian company makes plans for a vast gold and silver mine. The proposal, which involves raising 4 mountaintops, sparks a national outcry, and the Romanian government pulls its support for the project. After protests from local communities, the Italian government bans drilling for oil within 12 miles of its shoreline. A UK fossil fuel firm has to dismantle its oil field. Beneath the grey whales and sea turtles of Mexico's Gulf, an underwater exploration company gets a permit to explore a huge phosphate deposit. Before it can begin, Mexico withdraws the permit, saying the ecosystem is a national treasure that could be threatened by the mining, and decides it's actually a terrible idea. These cases are part of the bread and butter of governments updating environmental laws or responding to pressure from voters. But every time, the company involved sued the government for lost profits, and, well, they almost always win. Romania won in its case, but Italy and Mexico were forced to pay billions of dollars. They're among more than 1,400 cases analysed by The Guardian from within the Investor State Dispute Settlement ISDS system, a set of private courts in which companies can sue countries for billions of dollars. There have been long-held concerns about ISDS creating regulatory chill where governments are just scared out of their minds of actual action on nature loss and the climate crisis by legal risks.